Hello you guys. Okay, so I have this setup here. I don't know how it's gonna work, but let's find out. All right, so welcome to day one of the lab. I'm just gonna start by putting this right here. Okay, so it says, let's zoom in. Oh, that's too close. All right, it says, so purpose of today's lab, given vinegar and baking soda along with special directions, students will prove the law of conservation of mass. So here is my baking soda, here's my vinegar, and I've got special directions on my lab handout here. We're gonna make this happen. So first things first, the materials that we have are 150 milliliters, a beaker right here, and then what else? We have a Ziploc bag right here. Okay, a really big one. Don't worry, I'll zoom out once I'm done reading. Okay, and we have a weigh boat. That is this right here. And we have vinegar, and we have baking soda, like I showed you, in our scale, which is right over here. So we have all the things that we need. All right. So it says, so safety goggles. Okay, so put my safety goggles on. All right, so it says seal the bag completely in our experiment so that the chemicals do not spray out during the experiment. Okay, so I gotta make sure whatever I do with my bag, I'm sealing it completely. All right, so fill a beaker with about 100 milliliters of vinegar. And normally I would use a graduated cylinder for this, but it's not super important that I measure it like 100% accurately. As long as whatever I have is whatever measurement I get is recorded. Okay, and again, normally I wouldn't be pouring out of this, but I don't have my normal lab set up here since I'm here in the physics room. So I'm making do with what I have. So here we are. I have about 100 milliliters of vinegar. Okay, so place the weigh boat on the scale. Measure the mass of the beaker plus the vinegar, record in the table. Okay, so, I need to get a pen, hold on. All right, so here is my scale. I'm going to tear it out to begin with. Okay, I'm gonna put this on, and it reads 222.36. I'm gonna write that right here. Grams. Okay. Sorry, it just keeps trying to focus and then I keep moving stuff. So that is my vinegar plus my beaker. Okay, next. Place weigh boat on the scale. Do not zero the scale. Okay. Boom. Oh, let me zero it before, sorry. Okay, place the weigh boat on the scale. Do not zero the scale. Add about 75 grams of baking soda. Measure the exact mass of the weigh boat and the baking soda and record it on the table. So whatever I get, I'm gonna put it right there. Okay. Oh, I need a spatula. I am not in my chemistry room right now, so I don't have a spatula. So we're gonna measure out 75 grams of this, about. So that's probably gonna get me 77-ish, right? Because it was like 2 grams in there. I'm not really picky. It's a lot of baking soda. Baking soda, I got baking soda. Okay, so 76.24. I'm gonna write that right here. I'm gonna call it 24, like that. Okay, so next it says, put that over there. Put both the beaker and the weigh boat in the plastic bag. Do not mix the contents of either beaker or the weigh boat. Seal the plastic bag. Okay. So let's see if I can do this. Put this in here. So I'm essentially trying to create a closed system. Okay, one in which everything that's happening is being contained here. All right, so let me go back to my directions. So seal the bag. Okay, determine the mass, the beaker and the vinegar, the weight of the baking soda in the plastic bag with the write the values. Okay, so I'm gonna take this whole thing and I'm gonna put it on my weigh boat right here. All right, you guys can't see, but it says 306.9, we'll say 306. And it's kind of hovering around, I'm gonna say 80. Okay, you can kind of see it going back and forth between that and a lower number. So I'm gonna call it 80. All right, so what's next? Okay, without opening the bag, pour the vinegar into the baking soda. Without opening the bag, record the mass, the contents of the baking of the plastic bag at the table. Be careful not to break the seal. Okay, so I'm gonna record whatever the final mass is over here. Okay, make sure I'm sealed up. Move this over here. This is gonna be kind of hard. It looks like I've got a little bit of, ooh, and it's cold. It's cold. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this, I'm gonna put it on the scale. And it says, we're gonna call it 280, oh, and you know what? You can see it leaking there. We're gonna call it 284. You know what? In this bag, it must be an old bag, it's leaking. So that's gonna affect our results. Okay, so after 285, we'll just call it 285.00, even though we're not that exact, but it is what it is. Okay, so 285.00, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the trash. To be dealt with later. All right, so calculate over here what the change in mass is here. And then I've got some questions for you. Describe what happens to the vinegar. What happens when the vinegar was poured into the cup of baking soda? Now describe to me what you saw. I'll tell you what I experienced. It felt cold and it also smelled. I smelled something. But what else did you see? I could hear some fizzing. Okay, but what else did you see happening physically? Did you lose or gain mass? Okay, what happened? Did we lose or gain? Explain why mass was either lost or gained. What do you think? Now, although we did lose some mass, because you can see some of this water that spilled out, if that water hadn't spilled out, this number would still have been, it wouldn't be the same as this one. So what else could have happened? Talk to me about the characteristics of the bag. Was our system completely sealed? What else happened there? Okay, based on today's lab, write your own definition for what you think the conservation of mass is. The law of conservation of mass. It's a law. It's always obeyed. Tell me what you think it is. And then lastly, explain how this lab relates or demonstrates or shows the conservation of mass, or maybe how can the law of conservation of mass be connected to what we did today in lab. Okay, that's all I've got. Go ahead and begin.